Hugo said to the under-20 coach,
Okay.
𝗠𝗢𝗢𝗘,
Yeah.
please don't take Mbokazi. Don't pick him in your team.
Exactly.
Don't take him to the under-20s.
Yes.
Because I've got 2 matches I need to win.
That's it.
I need him.
You need him.
Yeah.
Because what did Mbokazi do to win the heart?
Against Nigeria.
Mbokazi ukhosenye indaba man. Now, this is exactly what I was talking about before the Nigeria game. If we don't throw them in there, how then are we going to know they're ready? But I know there's a transition of introducing, you know. But play njengombokazi uyambona nje umbokazi ukuthi no makuthiwa kunempi manje ula akusumuntu ozomela umprepare.
He's got that heart kamvala.
Thank you.
Did Mbokazi make a good move or a bad move for his football career? The young generational talent Mbekezeli Mbokazi has reportedly secured a move to MCL League to a team named Chicago FC. This comes after the outburst of his tremendous defensive qualities at 𝗠𝗢𝗢𝗘 in such a short period of time. I shared this with mixed emotions on this matter, but the big question is, will this move continue to grow his promising career? We don't know. We all know that football is a short career. One has to secure the bag as soon as possible, but knowing the immense talent of 𝗙𝗢𝗢𝗘, the decision remains questionable. There is no denying that Mbokazi has the utmost ability to make it to the biggest stage of football. The American League seems below the level of PSL in terms of challenge and competitiveness. So wouldn't be that a limit to his growth in terms of improvement as a player? The less exposure of the league also comes at hand, because it also means reduced visibility for him to set and also get noticed by bigger leagues or bigger clubs. Maybe I'm being very emotional, but that's fact if you think about it. I'm not against the move of Mbokazi, but from my own perspective, I really believe it was a rushed move, but unrejectable because of the offer the team placed by the club. Personally, I feel like Paris should have awaited for a better team from a better league in order to enhance Mbokazi's future for the top quality he is. But then again, there is no fault in securing the bag for the player. It seems the 𝗙𝗢𝗢𝗘 turned the move to the MCL League has genuinely split opinions to the whole internet and the country. For those of us who aren't particularly in favor of the move, the argument rests on 2 clear pillars. The MCL League is not the ideal environment for his football development or long-term trajectory, and obtaining to hold of interest until after AFCON and the World Cup would have been a far more strategic play in terms of unpaying his stock. On the other hand, I haven't seen a compelling structural sound rebuttal. What I've mostly seen are casually counterpoints centered on 2 points, and the financial appeal, the salary, also are left for the player, and the hope that his MCL team could function as a springboard into Europe. Mbokazi 𝗙𝗢𝗢𝗘 could be joining Chicago in MCL League, a move that makes a financial sense for both player and the club. But it is the right step for his career in football. While MCL League offers lucrative contracts, the league is often seen as a retirement village league for those who have already achieved everything in Europe. For young talent like Mbokazi, the MCL League might not be the ideal environment to push his development further. The league is often criticized for its tactical and technical limitations compared to top European leagues, particularly those in countries like Denmark and Belgium, where football is more competitive and development focused on. For players aiming to use a move to MCL League as a stepping stone to Europe, elite leagues, it's a difficult risk ask. The likes of 𝗚𝗢𝗢𝗘𝗥 are rare exceptions. Most players who move from MCL to top Europe clubs struggle to make any impact. Just look at 𝗠𝗢𝗢𝗘𝗥, whose potential appeared to stall after moving to MCL, losing his place in the South African national team due to the perceived weakness of the league. We saw firsthand in the recent Club World Cup that MCL teams still struggle to compete with the best from Europe and South America, further highlighting the gap in quality. While the financial benefits are obvious, the question remains, can MCL League truly help young talent elevate their game to the highest level? The end of the day, Mbokazi make his own move, and we still wish him all the best. The future is unpredictable, and who knows, he might prove us wrong and make a successful transition to Europe down the line. Ambitious, the MCL League might not be the best place to make those dreams to a reality, but who knows? Mbokazi's move to MCL League with Chicago Fire is a significant step in his career, but opinions are divided on whether it's a right move or the wrong move. On the other hand, the MCL League experience will provide him with international exposure, availability, playing time, and chance to develop his skills against strong competition. This could be a great opportunity for him to gain confidence and make a name for himself in the global football scene. On the other hand, some experts believe that Mbokazi might be moving too soon and Europe should have been his destination. They have argued that MCL League might not be the best platform for him to achieve his potential, and that he could be limiting his chances of making it to the top Euro leagues. And it's worth noting that Mbokazi has already caught the eye of European clubs, and his Bafana have impressed many. He's done to bigger things, and if he performs well, he could attract attention from Europe clubs.
The coach, I don't know which one, I must be honest with you. This is something that's been in the works for a while. This was in the works even before our transfer window closed. The 21st of September one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was definitely not a transaction that could have happened at that time. I think I have to give massive credit to 𝗚𝗢𝗢𝗘𝗥, because that's the person that I deal with when it comes to matters that pertain to Pirates. He, at all points in time, was like, no, you can do it, keep going. And I'm like, no, this,
so Pirates
this
was
is
supportive of the deal.
Yeah.
Because I would have thought that Pirates would push back a little bit, to say maybe not now. For the first time in a long time, they're looking at a team that could possibly win the league. They're sitting very comfortable. At the time, they would have still been in with a shout of Champions League football as well.
I also think that they, for me personally, and I had the conversation with 𝗚𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗡 because we had this chat, and for him, it's him realizing that his words to me was, look, I can't fault this kid. He's served me well. He's given me everything, and I'm not going to stand in his way. You've brought this opportunity here, and this is life-changing for him and his family. So so it was a back and forth. It wasn't an easy transaction, like I say. But at the same time, it wasn't one of those where it was like, no, here's a deal, and no, we're not entertaining deals. Does it make sense? Is it a transaction that makes sense holistically? And does it put the player in a position where he'd be able to be enhanced and move forward? And, so those kinds of things were definitely the core pillars of why the transaction was done. And I hear people, a lot of people are swearing at me and going crazy and everything else. But the reality is people are like, yeah, but we can win the title and we can win the trophy. But it just, for me personally, goes to show the character of the establishment, that they have put Mbokazi's interests first.
Ultimately, the success of Mbokazi's move will depend on how he adapts to the MCL League and how well he utilizes his opportunity. It grows as a player. While many celebrate the move, I think it's important to look deeper at what it means for development. As someone who has followed Mbokazi closely through his rise, this move to the MCL League doesn't sit easy with me, not because it's not the best move for his development right now. Financial, the deal make perfect sense to Orlando Pirates, but from a football perspective, it's like a step that may not stretch Mbokazi the way young defender of his potential needs. Europe remains the sharpest, toughest environment to grow in, the place where competition intensity, the football culture, unforgettable, and pathway to major tournaments like the Champions League is a real move. They would have elevated his game, exposed him in the higher technical demands, and tested him against a light forward �𝗢𝗢𝗘. The MCL League improving, yes, but it also carries realities that don't necessarily serve a young talent, technical and competitive development. It's a league where not all clubs operate with the same intensity or a full-time football culture. And let's be honest, America is not a football-driven nation. Soccer is still fighting for space behind the country, more dominant sports.
So I'm going to give you an example. I had a scout from Europe, and I can comfortably show you the messages, offer me 150,000 euros for Mbokazi. And the 150,000 euros was the end of our conversation.
To purchase him from Pirates?
Purchase him from Pirates.
150,000 euros?
150,000 euros. 150,000 euros.
That's just under
not 1.5 million.
It's just
euros.
over 2 million.
Yeah.
Rand.
So I'm just 150,000 euros. And I had the same interactions, unfortunately, with a few other people in Europe when I was dealing with Khanyisa. And the sentiment of this, because we're speaking about Mbokazi, was I'm not going to pay more for an African player.
Which country was interested in Europe?
There was a team in Belgium, right? But second or third division in Belgium. That was the one that
offered 150.
Yeah, and that was it. Any
so
other offers? I didn't. Well, I didn't get them. Maybe other agents got them. Yeah. I got a lot of inquiries from other agents on some. Hi, how are you? Can I have your player? You want what? No, can I do a deal with you on your player? Oh, okay. I'm interested to hear it. Yeah, sign this. And I was like, no, hold on. I can't sign. And now you want me to sign something you haven't given me anything in writing. You're saying to me, I can sell your player for you. Take.
So the European interest was fickle.
I didn't get it. Maybe
you just got the one that was third tier and it was ridiculous.
Yeah, and it was like, okay, cool, And like for me, it was someone that said, and I was very offended, and I expressed my offense. I said, you are saying to me that currently the youngest and most prominent talent in South Africa is a player that you would only pay 150,000 euros for, and you are then turning around and saying, because I actually had an offer from a team in the MLS, Chicago Fire, and the offer from Chicago was less than what the concluded amount was, and I said, this is actually how much, and I said, this is actually how much I have from a club in the MLS.
Some will argue, but Messi plays there true, but how old is Messi? He spent nearly his entire career conquering Europe first, only after winning everything repeatedly did he make the switch to the MCL. That move was never about development. It was about whipping down a legendary journey. Others might say, but 𝗠𝗢𝗢𝗘 moved to Saudi Arabia, also true, but 𝗢𝗢𝗘 is another player, it's another young player, young talent, who in my view could have gained from Europe. The Saudi Pro League and the MCL League share a similar trend. They attract star players nearing retirement. After long Europe careers for young South African prospects, bypassing Europe means skipping the most valuable stage of learning. Even Bafana coach Hugo Bros hinted that Mbokazi was ready to move abroad, but let's be honest, the USA was definitely not what he said in his mind. He's been vocal about wanting our boys to challenge themselves in Europe, where the demands are higher and the growth is faster. Yes, a positive South African will play at the 2026 FIFA World Cup in North America. Being on that side might be adjusting and familiar, but one potential upside doesn't outweigh what he could gain by Europe. Toughest league. Attack week in, attack week out. Week in, week out. Yes, Mbokazi is young, gifted, hungry. That's exactly the profile that should be learning in a Belgium, Netherlands, Portugal, the gateways leagues where African defenders have traditional built world-class career. Mbokazi to Chicago Fire, get to know the club, respected head coach. For every player, further development, the type of a coach managing the talent and the network is important. Chicago head coach 𝗙𝗢𝗢𝗘 is one of the most respected in the United States soccer at the large area, who is also sporting director of the club, was the head coach of the United States national team from 2018 to 2023, and is the first person in the history of USA soccer to represent America at the FIFA World Cup, both as a player and as a coach. Lack of competitiveness. Chicago is not one of the competitors for the league title in the Eastern Conference of Major League Soccer, as they have not won the championship yet. The men in red have not finished above 11 in the standards in the past 5 seasons. In a stream of 15 teams, they ended up in 11, number 12, number 13, and 15 in the last 5 years from 2020. Overall ranking, according to rankings website Football Database, Chicago is ranked higher, 118 in the world and 70 in North America, and currently 16 in the United States. When it comes to big names signing, at least in the last 5 seasons, 𝗙𝗢𝗢𝗘 is the most marked acquisition Chicago Fire has made after paying $7 to get him from Lyon ahead of the 2021 and 2022 season. The USA side also signed Jonathan Bomba from Spanish La Liga, outfit Celta Vigo for $3.5 million last season, and broke the bank for the striker 𝗠𝗢𝗢𝗘 from 𝗖𝗢𝗢𝗓 after splashing $11 million to lure the Belgium ahead of 2022-2024 campaign. But career prospects, the common transfers of players from Chicago to Europe happened through switch outfit Lukaku, which is owned by the same boss calling the shot of America, German. So at least in the last 5 seasons, there has not been major outgoing transfer to the called big leagues in Europe, with the French League 1 featuring Spiritually and other lower league with UEFA such as Sweden and Super League Denmark. What does Mbokazi departure would mean? According to credible source, Mbokazi sold a move abroad in America for his MCL football club. The 20 years football player rise to stir up in inspiration to the younger generation of footballers who are campaigning in the junior ranks from the dusty field eThekwini to being spotted by Pirates to lead DDC squad and to the integrated in the first team, and trusted with the armband to lead the footballing giant with rich history and millions of fans across Africa. And continue of that in just 2 years, extraordinary. But what does this move mean for Paris in the tactical aspect of the beautiful game? Mbokazi was the only trusted left centre back in the squad. I know Coach Waddo is mostly tactical and will try to tweak his tactics to be filled in the void left by the Rolls-Royce defender, but it will show that this missing piece at the puzzle. Mbokazi brought stability and reliability at the head of that defense. It remains to be seen how will approach the game going forward after this departure. And please tell me more in the comment. How do you feel about this Mbokazi move? And be genuinely honest. And please subscribe and like and comment. Peace out.
Then you find this kid, 18 years old. You represent him. He does very well in a very short space of time. Phenomenal how he goes from a DDC player to an Orlando Pirates senior team player to a regular player on that team to captain of that team to a 𝗚𝗢𝗢𝗚𝗏 entry to now a starting berth at 𝗚𝗢𝗢𝗚𝗏 as well. Quite a meteoric rise, that, right? And you are here through all of that. Then boom, there's news of interest. Boom, he's gone. How did all of this? It's hard to even ask because this is such a short space of compacted time. But take me through it.
I think the first and most important thing that we have to be very mindful of is just the basics of life. That when God has chosen you and God has anointed you to do something, that's the reality, and that's the crown that you're going to wear. There's no question about it. It doesn't matter who says what, you know. Short as it is, as great as it is, I have to commend him for being as humble as he is. I have to commend him for being as steadfast as he is, because I also think that if he wasn't as steadfast as he is, he would have gotten lost in the hype along the way. He would have been like, 𝗚𝗢𝗢𝗧𝗕𝗥, I'm the captain of Pirates kind of thing. But he doesn't have that, you know. He's got, I mean, we were in Chicago on the way traveling, and he carried my bags, and I'm like, no, it's okay, I'll carry my own. He's like, I'll carry your bags, and he carried my bags literally, and I'm walking like a passenger princess of note. But at that time, I must do your deal, and you're
I should be carrying your bags.
I should be carrying your. No, he carried my bags. You know, in a crowd of people, he walked in front of me, and when there was no crowd of people, he stood behind me. It was just one of those. It's the most astonishing thing for me. Opens the door when I'm walking to the door, and I'm like, don't do that. He's like, no, it's okay. But that's him. He's grounded. He doesn't have this thing that I'm Mbekezeli Mbokazi. Like, this is me. No.
But don't tell no lie about me, and I won't tell truths about you.
F.8, just step on niggas. Brand no F.8, just step on niggas.